Well, good morning. It's Friday, October 29th, and we have gathered for our morning devotion, and today's is called Tested, from Colossians chapter 1, verses 15 through 17. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created, in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. All things were created through Jesus, and the factors composing his test in the wilderness were no exception. Matthew 4 verse 1 sets the scene. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. Right off the bat, we're clued into who's in control. Then connotes time. Obviously, so do 40 days and 40 nights. Thousands of years before, he was miraculously conceived into it. Jesus created the passage of time. Prior to his incarnation, he transcended every physical law and dimension that governs the world. Then Jesus set omnipresence aside and surrendered himself to the vassalage of time. In the beginning, Jesus created the Judean wilderness. He spoke into existence the rocky terrain, the deep ravines, the barren grands, and the scant vegetation. When he marched out the foundations of the earth, the precise coordinates from this period of his own suffering were noted. Jesus set opulence aside and surrendered himself to the blistering, desolate landscape. The body of Jesus inhabited was made. He designed his own human suit, if you will. He constructed its cellular respiration, metabolic reactions, and biochemical energies, knowing how each of these complex systems would respond to his voluntary deprivation. Jesus was experiencing psychologically what he designed supernaturally. He set heavenly perfection aside and surrendered himself to physical depletion. Even his tempter was created. God created Satan, the highest ranking angel who rebelled and was cast to earth, where he operated as the devil ever since. How Satan became evil is unexplained. God saw fit to keep that part a mystery. But what the testing in the wilderness makes clear is that nothing can foil God's divine purpose. Not timing, not harrowing circumstances, and certainly not the evil one. For the sake of being chosen, Jesus put all opposition in its place, literally. Then he was led by the Spirit to surrender himself to the will of God. The disciples were tested, the religious leaders were tested, Pilate was tested, we are tested. We can't know in advance how we'll respond to it, or success or failure were determined by us. But make no mistake, testing is no accident. And so the prayer focus. No one likes tests. Ask God to help you not only survive, but then to thrive under them and be drawn closer to God through Jesus. So the moving forward questions. Do you believe God has designed all the elements composing your tests? Explain why or why not. What is the most difficult test you've ever had to surrender to? Whether you're in a test now or one is coming, what are some ways you can better withstand that testing?